Almost a year and a half after being diagnosed with anal cancer, 57-year-old Marcia is opening up about her battle against the disease and her new outlook on life. After 3 intense months of treatment and many more of regaining normalcy, Cross gets real in this week's issue of People about her dream of breaking down the stigma around the disease. Here's her reason why.
I wanted to come forward because when I was ill, I read a lot of blogs online or cancer survivor stories, and a lot of people, women especially, were too embarrassed to say what kind of cancer they had. They had a lot of shame about it, and the doctors even had were uncomfortable talking about the anus. And since I've gotten very comfortable talking about the anus, I thought, okay, well, I think that I could probably help by making a little dent in that stigma.
Now, while Cross had no warning signs that she developed the cancer, it was discovered by her doctors being thorough and performing tests that aren't always routine. Unfortunately, Cross was no stranger to cancer when she received that diagnosis. Her husband of almost 13 years, 61-year-old Tom Mahoney, is now healthy after a throat cancer diagnosis for him back in 2009. When Cross received her clean bill of health, she describes how both she and her husband felt in that moment. Take a look.
What I really remember is my husband crying. And I was sort of numb, so I didn't feel anything. And he'd been sort of, not distant, but, you know, he'd been through his own, so he was just being the man the whole time. He never showed any, like, that he was worried or anything. But then when that happened, I looked over, and that really blew me away, yeah. But I was still in a state of shock because you're in such a fight mode and freeze and you know, that it took a while for it to unwind for me. But yeah, it kind of irrevocably changes you.
Wow, now that Cross is feeling healthy and ready to share her story with the world, she says she realized that life was too fragile to waste on negativity. She says she didn't just survive cancer, she taught herself self-love as well.
I got a clear scan, and then I heard myself talking mean to myself, you know, which I've done for my whole life. And I went, so you're gonna live and then you're gonna do that to that body that just, you know, and for the first time I went, that is no longer acceptable.
And in addition to keeping away from negativity, Cross also has a newfound gratitude for the simple yet essential things in life. We asked her, what are you most grateful for now? And here's what she said.
Love, everything love related is what I'm grateful for. And my health and however long I get to be here.
Cross is pushing for both men and women to speak out if they notice unusual hemorrhoids or bleeding, and she calls on everyone to listen to your body. She insists that if you don't feel a doctor was thorough enough, then get a second opinion because anal cancer is much more curable if it's caught early.